He's by. Alan Jones has taken the lead as Zanino's car is lifted by the breakdown truck right in the middle of the circuit. An incredible happening. Alan Jones leading for the first time on lap 32 out of 59, and the new second place man, they're both on wet tyres, and now if the circuit does start to dry out, it could get very, very interesting and very exciting indeed. So Alan Jones has pulled back a 10-second gap between himself and Villeneuve and has taken the lead. There is Derek Daly coming into the pits. Daly, who is in fourth position, into the pits, presumably for a tyre change. Hans Stuck, the German driver in the ATS, as Daly goes out, and Stuck, who is in sixth position, comes into the pits like everybody else for a tyre change. So obviously the track must be drying out, and here again there's a case of a wheel sticking, and they've got it off. On goes the slick at the back. The other one has already been put on. The pneumatic hammer is working at the front, and 4 wheels, 4 tyres changed. Hans Stuck's ATS on the jacks, both front and rear, and he gets the signal, and away he goes to rejoin the race, having lost 6th position, but will probably now start to get it back. That's Sura, and Alan Jones goes past young Mark Sura in his first Formula One race in the Rainbow Ensign, the Formula 2 champion of Europe, and Alan Jones leading. Behind him in second place now, Gilles Villeneuve. In third position, René Arnoux in the Renault. In fourth position, Jody Scheckter. In fifth position, Derek Daly. And in sixth place, Didier Pironi, followed in seventh position by Hans Stuck, who has been in to change tyres. That's the leader. Villeneuve into the pits. Second place man, Gilles Villeneuve. Now, as his wet tyres come off and his dry tyres go on, what is Alan Jones going to do? Will he come in to change his tyres? How long will it take in comparison with the imperturbable young French-Canadian that we're looking at this very moment? And that is a very quick pit stop. Although, yes, out surges 20 seconds. A whisker over 20 seconds. And Gilles Villeneuve blasts out of the pits, having changed 4 wheels and 4 tyres. And I would suspect is in third position, maybe, and he could even still be in second position. Mark Sura, his first Grand Prix, the reigning Formula 2 champion of Europe in the Ensign, and his Grand Prix is run because, as you can well see, he's out of the car. And that is Alan Jones. Alan Jones down in the pits. He's come in for tyres. Now, is he going to get out before Gilles Villeneuve comes past? Watch the corner in the background, and that is Villeneuve. That is Gilles Villeneuve taking the lead in the American Grand Prix, and still in the pits is Alan Jones, and he's away.
Yeah, well, the Ferrari pit stop was fantastic. They did theirs in 20 seconds. We didn't have a time on Alan Jones's, but it had to have been slower. It certainly couldn't have been any quicker than that. And he's out in the race, and he's well behind. We'll get a watch on him as soon as we got both cars running up to full speed on the circuit. But I would suspect that he's at least 10 seconds, probably 15 or 20 behind Villeneuve. So he's got an awful lot to do now.
And there are 22 laps to go as we look at the new second place man, because Alan Jones is on his 37th lap out of 59, and we will give you, as James said, the gap between himself and the renewed leader, the man that led the race for so long, right up to the 31st lap, Gilles Villeneuve in the Ferrari.
I've just talked to one of the Goodyear mechanics who's told me that Alan Jones went out too soon before one of the rear wheels was properly fitted. One of the mechanics told him not to go. He went, and Alan Jones may yet have to come into the pits again.
Alan Jones, a sensation in the American Grand Prix. Alan Jones out of the race, and that's a wheel down there. Alan Jones must have lost a wheel. It must be his offside front wheel that he's lost. Alan Jones has lost the American Grand Prix. If that is true, because of his own fault in leaving the pits too soon. Just a little impetuosity, which I would have said, James, was very unlike Alan Jones.
Absolutely, Murray. That is most uncharacteristic for Alan. I would think it would be a misunderstanding in the pits. It's very difficult to communicate when you're in that situation. It was a rear wheel that Alan lost, so it wasn't done up properly. Maybe bad signalling, bad communication in the pits, but whatever, it's a bad mistake.
Lap 39, that is the leader, and the new second place man is Jody Scheckter. So it is Ferrari first and Ferrari second. There, the leader, Gilles Villeneuve, leading the world champion Jody Scheckter. Ferrari's first and second. In third position, the indomitable little René Arnoux in the Renault. In fourth position, Derek Daly. In fifth position, Didier Pironi. And in sixth place, after his pit stop, Hans Stuck. John Watson, number 7, still in seventh place. And the leaders are on lap 49 out of 59. And there is Jody Scheckter. And look at the back of Schecter's car. Schecter's in real trouble. He's lost a wheel. His tyres burst. Exactly the same thing has happened to Jody Scheckter, has happened to Villeneuve. And there is sensation with Jody Schecter's rear tyre catching up with his front tyre and rolling away from him. You see the giant aluminium cotton reel wheel of Jody Schecter's Ferrari out of the race. He's going to retrieve the tyre, and it wasn't the Ferrari that let him down, it was his tyre that let him down, and there it is again, the rear tyre flailing away, and it must mean, I presume, James, that it just got overheated and burst.
Well, it's hard to say. It could have been any. It looks to me like like it was some sort of a fault with the tyre, I would say, Murray.
Villeneuve, then, in the closing stages of the American Grand Prix, here at Watkins Glen, which has seen a real contrast in weather conditions. There he goes, and behind him, Derek Daly, who is in fourth position, coming up to the 90, back into third gear, then up into fourth, into turn 2, the right-hander, then Schecter's chicane, which he's going to flip through in a minute, a right and a left. There he goes, a quick right and left, then up into the S's. Still now to the highest part of the circuit, and he's got Derek Daly right behind him, and it looks as though he's going to let Daly through, in which case Daly will be unlapping himself as we look briefly at the second place man, René Arnoux. Daly fourth, Villeneuve leading, René Arnoux there in second position, and in third place Didier Pironi in the Candy Tyrrell. And out of the turn comes Derek Daly. You can see the gap now between himself and Gilles Villeneuve, who completes his 53rd lap out of 59, with Derek Daly, the Irishman in the Candy Tyrrell, pulling well away from him all the time. Daly, who has been a BP Formula 3 champion in his time, easing away now from this man, the leader, who goes through the chicane, into the S's again, into the top straight. It's Villeneuve, lap 54. Villeneuve, who lives in Monaco, comes from Quebec. That looks like Daly. That's Derek Daly. The Candy Tyrrell is out of the race. Derek Daly, that I was talking about so confidently a moment ago, the Irish driver, who was in a superb fourth place, has joined the many other competitors that are out of the event, standing by the circuit. I don't know what the trouble is any more than you do. I do know, however, that Derek Daly has joined Jody Scheckter, Alan Jones, Clay Regazzoni, Charrier, Jabouille, Tombay, Reutemann, X, Lafitte and Giacomelli. So, with Derek Daly out of the race on lap 55 out of 59, looking at the second place man, René Arnoux, the positions are leading Gilles Villeneuve in the Ferrari, then number 16 there, René Arnoux in second place. In third position, Pironi. Up into fourth place, Elio De Angelis. In fifth position, Hans Stuck. And in sixth position, John Watson. That's Piquet. Nelson Piquet has stopped. So the Brazilian in his first race at Watkins Glen is not lasting the distance. That was De Angelis. There is Villeneuve. And yet another competitor, Nelson Piquet, out of the American Grand Prix. Handstuck in 5th position in the ATS. There he is, number 9. There, number 12, the 27-year-old Gilles Villeneuve. And as they start the last lap, it's interesting to recall the fact that Jean-Pierre Jarier said he thought the conditions earlier were too dangerous to race. Would you agree, James?
No, I wouldn't agree with that, Murray, from what we could see up here, but I'm suspicious that Jarier, he had a bit of an incident out on the track, and we had a bit of a garbled report, and I'm not sure whether he was referring to the general track conditions or to that incident. Altogether, it's been a bit of a disappointing race, unfortunately. It was a 2-horse race, and then sadly we lost Jones just as the thing was really going to light up. We had the wet-dry situation. It was largely tactical without a great deal of excitement because the tactics depended very much on the timing of the pit stop. Jones pitted just behind, a couple of laps after Villeneuve did, lost the lead, made a considerably slower pit stop than Villeneuve did, and came out of the pits with approximately 20 laps to go and a gap that we couldn't measure but we reckoned was probably about between 10 and 20 seconds, which he definitely could have caught. On that basis, he could easily have made up the ground and we could have had a really exciting finish. Sadly though, we've got Villeneuve now leading the race, nursing his car to a very easy win from half distance onwards.
And Gilles Villeneuve has just exited turn 7 into turn 8. And then the climb up to turn 9, the short straight down to turn 10, where he's doing some 115 miles an hour. Then into turn 4, and as he comes out of turn 11, he will see the checkered flag ahead of him, and he will know that he has won his 3rd Grand Prix of 1979, the American Grand Prix, to make it 6 for Ferrari, 3 for Jody Scheckter, and 3-2 for Gilles Villeneuve, who takes the checkered flag and wins the US Grand Prix East of 1979 and clinches for himself 2nd place in the World Championship. A wonderful drive, a wonderful Ferrari drive too. René Arnoux there finishing in 2nd place. 3rd will be Didier Pironi. 4th will be Elio De Angelis. 5th, Hans Stuck. And 6th and last man in the points, John Watson.